funding allocations, either by proposal or support, would you try to provide to ensure this population receives services necessary to prevent them and recidivism, recurring as offenders? And I'll add to that, what general public safety initiatives do you think are important to improve the quality of life in our district?
You can't do that in 2 minutes.
Big question. Do your best.
Reentry comes through the budget division I chair, and we have really focused on that in the 3 years that I have been the chair. Luckily, in the House of Representatives, we have had a companion committee that has also seen the importance of that. There are 2 organizations here in North Minneapolis. No, there are several more than 2. But there are 2 larger organizations in North Minneapolis that work with offenders coming out of prison. There's an organization that I'll talk about, and I probably won't have time to talk much more about it, called the Network for Better Futures. It's down on Highway 55. They provide, as best as they can, a full wraparound services for the offender when he leaves prison. It's job skills training, it's getting a job, it's helping find housing, it's even getting health care through North Point. We know that so many of the folks who are in our prison system are chemically dependent or mentally ill. Having that health care piece of it is so important because it allows them to continue on their medications to keep them being on a more even keel. So often here in our community we have had problems with bad behavior in neighborhoods. And sometimes the communities have talked about very strict guidelines about who could live in the neighborhood, and you know, sometimes it borders on that NIMBY thing. As we have been working with the issue of reentry, we realized that when men, especially men, but men and women, but when men come out of prison, the housing is just such a hard piece for them to get established and get any type of rental history going so that they can be a success.
Brady.
I think I know the gist of the question. I think the best reentry program is not incarcerating somebody. I think that one of the reasons we deal with so many issues is we are incarcerating people for things we did not incarcerate them for 30 years ago. We've increased the prison population in the state of Minnesota 400% over the past 30 years. Currently, the state budget just for prisons is $3.5 million a year. And I think the programs that Linda's speaking to are really critical. And she mentioned borders on NIMBYism. I don't think it borders on NIMBYism at all. I think it is NIMBYism. I think that one of the things that ex-offenders, when they come out, deal with is becoming contributing members in our community. This is something that I have some personal knowledge about. I actually was incarcerated 33 years ago. And I was fortunate that we had a structure in place for me back then that allowed me to go through drug treatment, to be in a halfway house for 7 years, and then be introduced back out into society and sort of present myself that I have turned my life around. And for the grace of God, it's been 33 years since I've used, and I believe I'm a contributing member of our society. I think that everybody should have that opportunity that ends up getting incarcerated, that makes a mistake when they're young, that they don't have to continue to pay for that mistake the rest of their life. I also understand that this is an issue that circles around race. I believe that a lot of the opportunities I had as much to do with the color of my skin as it did with the actions of my deeds. So I think we need to fund a whole lot more programs that prevent people from going in, and also set up systems that allow people to succeed and not allow them to, or set them up to fail, where we then set them back.
Next question.